Hello.
Hello.
Well, guys, welcome to the Miles with Moms podcast, a podcast for moms chasing goals through all seasons of life. I'm Olivia,
I'm Shanna.
and we are bringing you training tips, mom and expert interviews, and the kind of best friend banter that makes you feel like you're on a run with us. Whether it's your first 5K, your next marathon, or a stroller tempo, we've got your miles and your sanity. Since we're building a new platform, we'd really appreciate if you can rate, subscribe, and definitely share our podcast with another fellow mama runner. Thank
Yep.
you so much. It's if you're watching the YouTube, it's White Vest Day.
We got the memo.
Yeah.
Unplanned, but it's okay.
Yeah. Oh, well, how are you doing?
Pretty good. I mean, it's 50 degrees here, which is so. I had my first hot chocolate of the season. I literally thought, I was like, Olivia's probably had her 20th for the season of
Like of the week.
the week.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Yeah. That's exciting. Oh my gosh. That's so funny. I had like a Starbucks hot chocolate the other day and I thought about you and I was like, she likes the bitter ones and I love mine to be just like dumped with sugar, like all that kind of stuff. And it was so funny. I was like, don't need to know that much information about anyone, it's just funny.
It's awesome though. It's so fun. Yeah, this morning it was like pouring rain. So I woke up this morning and I convinced this girl to drop her workout. And she was like, because she was like, can you go do these 5x800s with me? I was like, I
Oh,
just did a workout late last night. Like, it was last night that I was texting her. I was like, I just finished my workout. I don't think I can move my body that
yeah.
fast. And so she was like, okay, I'll just join you for some easy miles. And so we go out running today, and it was dumping rain. Like, I
Oh,
literally almost pulled my eyelashes off because I was like, I can't see. Where are
yeah.
we? Am I gonna step on a frog? It was just pouring.
That's
And I was like,
amazing.
I was in this like, oh, it's 50 degrees. It's not quite long sleeve temperature.
Mhm.
But like she was like layered up and I'm like in a sports bra and it's just pouring at our faces. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, wow, this is very eventful. Very
That
eventful
is
run.
so funny. It's crazy here too, because like it never rains.
Yes.
So when it does, and if you like rain, you want to like go and enjoy it while it's happening. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's so funny. I was gonna say when I woke up, it was like the ground was completely wet, everything was soaked outside. I was like, oh, it must have really rained out here. So,
Yes.
my gosh, I can't believe you were out in that. I am very jealous though. I love
I
running in
know. I literally thought I was like, she's probably just dying to go run
I
right now.
yeah,
And this
I was.
weather, it's so beautiful right now too. Like, you need a 50-degree weather run.
I know. I somehow
So bad.
still haven't had
You
it.
dodged them all. Yes.
I know. I saw the weather this week and I was like, are you kidding me?
I
I just hope
know.
I don't miss it because like this is the sweet spot where we live. And honestly, like I was talking to some other people before the race and they were like, this is kind of the last like fall weather running we're gonna get and all that stuff. And then I was thinking like, oh, they have like full on winter running, which we don't really have.
Crazy.
We
Yes.
do have cold weather running, but honestly, it's
If you
not worth
consider like 29, 30 degrees, that's our
it.
cold. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Which
Yeah.
is crazy to think about because, we've just
Well,
been
especially
running.
you grew up in Minnesota.
Yeah,
And then I
exactly.
lived up in northern Utah and they both have snow, like till like June sometimes, right?
Yeah, like the longest winters ever.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. And yeah, it's so funny. Even last year living up in Cedar,
Oh
I
yeah.
don't mind the snow and it's when you're trying to run in like when it's actively snowing, that was something I like didn't know how to approach. Like
Yes.
my eyes with the snow and I was like, do I wear sunglasses? Do I get goggles?
Do I get goggles?
I
Could
was
you
picturing myself
imagine?
with like ski goggles out there.
Oh my gosh. You're out there with like the what are the cross country skis?
Yes.
Like
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
just pivoting sports.
Yeah.
Get ready for the winter.
Oh, I could never. That's like something we did in Minnesota in PE class. So that it was like
No
cross
way.
country skiing, yeah, and then snowshoeing, which is so
That's
funny.
so
I
fun.
love talking like because for you, you talked about was it water polo the other day? And I was like, "Hey, we
Yes,
can't have that at our high schools, you know?"
because
And
it's too cold.
yeah,
Yeah,
you just wouldn't have it. But then, people cross country ski and
that's
just the
crazy.
differences, it's so nuts. Yeah. I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
even know. Like water polo was something people on TV did.
People on TV. Yeah,
Yeah.
we had like full on surf teams,
Oh my gosh,
like
that's
in middle
crazy.
school. Yeah,
That's crazy.
it's so crazy because the
It's
beach
also,
was like 10 minutes away from my
yeah,
middle school and then probably about 15, 20 minutes away from my high school. But yeah,
that's
it's
insane.
so
That's so,
different.
yeah. I mean, it's weird to think about a middle school. I can't imagine like
I know.
in middle school, like seeing my classmates in like board shorts. Like
I know. I know. Isn't that crazy? It's
that
like
is
just
so
normal
wild.
attire out there because everybody's
Yeah.
going to the beach. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so true. No,
You
I
probably
think
see them more times in a swimsuit than normal clothes.
yeah. No, that's so true. That's so crazy. I always think of, well, because like when I would have been in like early middle school, we were watching that show, The OC. And so to
Oh,
me,
yes.
that's only something that people on TV would have done. And
That's
I'm,
true.
going to school like outside and yeah,
Wait,
like
that's right, because your school is indoor.
it was all indoors. Yeah.
That's so crazy.
Oh my gosh. I have a distinct memory of getting off of a school bus and it being so icy where we walked just like full on wiping out in front of all the school buses and it being so embarrassing and
Oh, that's
yeah,
awful.
or walking inside the hallways and everything is just like sopping wet. Yeah. Like giant lockers to fit all your stuff into.
That is so
So
funny.
crazy. Just so different.
Yeah, way different. I
Yeah.
remember looking like when we lived up in northern Utah and seeing all the schools, I was like, they look like college campuses. They're so massive because everything's indoor,
Yes.
not spread out outdoors.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is crazy. And
Yeah.
then I like realized the winters are so crazy up there that I'm like, well, yeah, could you imagine like them walking, just
Oh my
trekking to
gosh.
class like
Yeah.
in the snow?
Everybody's just wearing winter jackets all day.
Yes, exactly.
That would be crazy. That would be so funny. I know it's so funny just thinking back on that. But like what you think is normal but I'm still shocked by it. Even when I go to California now, I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's so weird looking at that."
Or
But
what about when you see people walking on the beach during this time of year and they're like
oh,
layered head to toe and it's
yes.
like 65 degrees and they're like, we're so cold, it's winter here. And I'm like, this is nice, let's go play in the water.
Yes. Yeah, it's so true. I'm just so excited to like actually be able to run in some cooler weather. I will say, like, I mean, yeah, overall, it was good that we had trained in the heat that we did, right, for like the goal race. But
Yeah.
um, yeah, I'm just excited to take that down a notch a little bit because it's better than like wind. I have to like stay positive about it because like on Sunday, it wasn't windy and I kept forgetting that Chicago's like the windy city. So
Yeah.
whenever I saw like a shirt or something that said like Chicago, welcome to the windy city, I was like, "Oh no."
Welcome to the Windy City, is that what it's really called? That's crazy.
Yeah. And so and then, but Matt and I, we just kept being like, well, nothing compares to how windy Cedar is. They've obviously been a Cedar city.
I
So,
know.
yeah.
After hearing your experience out there, I was like, I never want to live there
Yeah.
ever, ever, ever. The
I
wind
know.
alone sounds miserable.
It's so funny. Like I haven't even looked back on pictures of like normally all I do is reminisce. I'm always looking at pictures on my phone, and I haven't even looked back at pictures of what we were doing at this time last year because we were just indoors so much. Or it's pictures of when we came down and visited here. So yeah.
Yeah.
Even all weekend, my husband and I, we were just kept being like, we made such a good choice by moving back. We made like we couldn't stop saying it. Just like, and we weren't even in St. George. We literally traveled somewhere else and still
I
kept
know.
being like, we made such a great choice.
I know.
So yeah, it was just so funny. Oh my
Oh
gosh.
man. Well, Olivia ran the Chicago Marathon over the weekend. You
Whoop,
want to
whoop.
talk about that experience?
I do. Let's see. I First of
You're
all,
like the
everybody who joined us at our shakeout, thank you so much. I'm
Yeah, that's
like,
so
where do I
awesome.
begin? It was such a crazy weekend. It went by so fast, and I feel like I hyped it up for so many people. I had talked to some moms that had like run Boston and talked to me about like the Boston race day logistics and stuff, and that can be a little bit shocking. And I personally haven't run Boston, but I was able to say like, in my opinion, compared to another world major, the logistics for Chicago are nothing like what you've explained to me, right? Like,
That's
so
crazy.
yeah, because especially even after watching people do Berlin, like they're starting at 10 a.m. and,
That's so late.
it's so late. I mean, if you're not training at that time, like it would
Yeah.
be a long time. Like I notice when some weeks I have to start running, if my husband's home a lot, I can run at 6 a.m., 7 a.m., something like that. And you have like fresh energy and stuff. And then, or if I have to do my workouts at like 10 a.m. when my husband's not home and I'm on the treadmill, like there's definitely just like a level of sluggish that
Yeah.
starts to happen. It's like a mid-morning energy drop. And
That's like you have to fuel for like brunch. Like
yes, no, it's so
10
true.
a.m. because you're like
Yeah,
you eat breakfast early and then it's like what do you do between 6 a.m. to 10 a.m.? Like
yeah,
it's almost like you have to have another whole like meal in there. That's like
yeah.
weird.
It's so
Yeah.
true. And I think about like if you're running, you want to keep eating. Like if you're running a marathon, you want to have fuel constantly, but you also don't want to go in overly full.
Yeah.
And I even had that moment. I woke up at 3:45 and there was one point that I was really nervous and I was just like staring at myself in the mirror for a really long time and I was like, what are you about to go do? Why do you like doing this
I know.
so
It's so
early?
true.
You know? And I was like, wow, you got up so early. You had all this time to stare at yourself in the mirror.
Honestly,
Um,
like getting food down at that time in the morning when you have like all the anxiety of race day, like
yes.
it is so hard. Like I feel like that's not talked about enough. Like I'm glad
Mhm.
that you did highlight that in your reel because I like literally sit there and I'm like, I'm gonna barf. Like I'm so
Yeah.
nervous and I have to eat this, but I have no appetite. Like,
Yes. It's so true. I mean, like I I was talking to all the moms in the morning and they're like, "Oh, I couldn't even finish most of my breakfast. Like there's a half-eaten bagel on the dresser still. And I knew I was going to be like that and just like mentally, I didn't want to worry about that I did not finish my breakfast. So I only brought Pop-Tarts to eat in the morning. And I had one pack and then what else? I had something else in the morning, but I can't remember what. Oh, a Cliff Bar. And
yeah,
I just knew like a bagel, if I sometimes
yeah,
if I start to eat it, I just knew it was like gonna fall back out of my mouth. I knew it.
yeah,
I like could not swallow because there's like that nervousness that happens. And yeah, so I was like, just eat the things that
yeah.
you feel like you're snacking anyway. And so like that's why I got up so early too, was just to kind of start that process. And the day before I don't know where I left my electrolyte packets, but I couldn't find them, so I was pretty anxious about that. And so for me, the sodium thing, I've never worried about it too much. I will say our gels have so much
Yeah.
sodium in it, especially compared to anything that I used to take in. So like I feel like my body's still just like, "Oh, thanks for replenishing me."
Yeah.
You
This
know?
is a lot.
Yeah, it's like, "Oh, you're really overdoing it," you
Yeah.
know? And I got nervous for a second at the expo. I was like, "Oh, people are buying so many of these like salt tabs and salt sticks or whatever they are." And I've
Crazy.
never tried that. So I was like, "I'm not going to try it now."
Yeah.
But then I was like, "Am I missing out? Like, would I feel great if I took them?" But I also have never trained with it, so I don't really know. But I do know
Yeah.
that what I do take. So then, once I got some of my electrolytes on board, I was like, just do everything like that's in your control right now. So, yeah, and then like once I got to the start, it was so funny because I was so nervous. Like I was shivering and this is like before every race, but then I was like, you're more prepared for this than you are anything else than I've ever
Yeah.
been for like anything.
Any
And
race,
like,
yeah.
yeah, like this is all you wake up, you talk about it, you train for it. Like I'm more prepared for this than I was for being a mom. Like they just handed me that baby and I was like, "Oh, I read one book. Oops."
It's
Like
so true. Oh my gosh.
yeah, like I was like, "Oh
So
my gosh."
true.
Like I wasn't prepared to do 9,000 loads of laundry every single day.
Or
Like
the diaper changing, you're like,
yeah.
"Am I holding their legs right?"
It's so true. And you're like, when they start eating solids, you're like, is that normal? But
I know.
or like this marathon, like it's all I've been preparing for,
It's so true.
and like I've been doing it with two children in tow. Like those children
Yeah.
are currently taken care of. So like of course everything is going to be fine. And once I started running, I was like, this is like what you do. Like you don't have even another activity that you pour into. Like this is just what you do. So just go and do those exact same steps that you have continuously done. And so that like just that mindset shift helped so much. And
Yeah.
I did Chicago 2 years ago and I did not use headphones for that and I soaked it all in and I felt like I
That's
really
so
got the
cool.
vibe of the race. I felt a little bit more seriousness with this one, so I did use headphones because I wanted to just kind of use the same playlist, the same exact vibe that I've been training with, just so that I wouldn't. I basically didn't want to like lose myself in like, I feel like crap, but you want to enjoy the race, so am I just gonna take it down a notch, And I'm so glad that I did that because I had my playlist like kind of broken down into where it was getting tough, and these are the songs that like you're so close to seeing Charlotte. You can FaceTime her the
Yeah.
second you're over that finish line. Like, Grayson put that freaking chicken jockey song in my playlist. And when it hit, I was laughing so hard and it hurt so like there was this corner that I turned and I was like, I don't know if I want to keep pushing. And then that hit, and I was like, you put this song, it's so annoying. It's like 58 seconds. And I was like, but you put it in here for a reason. And so it's just like, chicken jockey.
Could you imagine if you would have played your music out loud? Oh my gosh.
I thought about it so many times because you were like, just play it out loud. And I
Just
was
play
like,
it out loud.
it like it was like Frozen,
Let it
Hamilton,
go.
let it go. Like it was like and chicken jockey at mile 14, which was actually my fastest or my second fastest mile.
That
But
is
it's because
awesome.
it's these little things of like I don't often think of anything else while I'm running other than like what it feels like, I guess, or like leaning into it or whatever. And so to be able to like pull myself out of this and be like, you're 1 hour away from FaceTiming your kids, and to then you won this whole thing. And so anyway, that helped a lot. And then when I had texted you at like mile 18 and I was like, I only have 8 miles left.
I
And you
know.
go, you can do anything for 8 miles. And I was like, no,
I
I
know.
really can. Like, that's what's so crazy. I can do anything for 8 miles. And
Oh,
it was like, my
so
mom
funny.
had texted then too, because I put my do not disturb on, but I like let a few, I like you, my mom, my husband, and then my mother-in-law, like they can get through. And
Yeah.
so when like you had said you can do anything for 8 miles, and my mom goes, she has less than an hour left. I was like, that is
I love
crazy.
that.
It was so funny. And then you were like, you had said something about like the world's largest hot chocolate. I was like, I'm steps away from it. Like it
You
was just
are.
so crazy. So I think so much of this one was like mental in a way because running wise, so from I will say so 1 through 8, I was going fast. I was like I felt it. I
Yeah, you're
knew I was
flying.
going fast. I was just like leaning into it. And the guy next to me, he was like, "Did you bring everybody that you know?" And I was like, "No, name on my shirt." And so I had like these moments where I was like feeling really good, but I was like, if you don't dial it back, you're not gonna have fun the last few miles.
Yeah.
So, and then, but I will like couldn't dial it back. I was just like, just
Just in the
give it,
moment.
yeah,
Yeah.
just like give it what you have right now because you still
Yes.
don't know.
Yeah.
And Well, like so I took, I'm taking my gels and then after my very first or maybe my second one, I think it was my second one, I was like, uh-oh, that's not tasting good. It's not feeling
Oh,
good.
it's
Like,
the worst.
and I was like, this, like, just when you know that the gels are not going to be like, I don't know, where it's just going to be harder to take them one at a time. And so I was like, you've got to start stacking them closer together because by the end of the race, you're not going to be able to get them in.
Yeah.
And um like I do this during training runs too. So like if for me if I'm having a hard time where it's like I feel like oh no, I just don't know how this race is going to go, I always tell myself take one more gel and give yourself 3 more miles. Like you
That's
have to
awesome.
let yourself like just let because that's when it starts to happen. You start to fade and it's because you're like your sugar you're falling off of your sugar high. That's what's
Yes.
happening. And so you want to replenish that and give yourself those 3 more miles, 3.5 miles or whatever, however you take gels. And so it happens every time, like where I'm like, "Oh, I just don't know if I can do this." Then it's like, okay, take that gel, give yourself the chance. And so I felt myself doing that. So I had started my period right before the race.
Oh, that's the
And
worst.
I know. I was expecting to be on day 2 of it. I was like
No.
mentally prepared for that. Day 1, you're like, I don't know. It's just like totally different. And
Yeah, way different.
yeah, you like don't feel good. The cramps are,
Bloated, everything hurts.
oh,
Yeah.
the bloat was like, it was unreal. Or I felt that
Yeah.
way. Like, anyway, it's funny when I see a picture, I'm like, I don't look bloated at all. The
Yeah. But you
feeling I
feel.
had though was
Yes.
like I was just gonna like fill up with helium and float away at some point. Like, I
Yeah.
was unbelievable. And so I took my gels, I started to stack them kind of close together, and I'm so glad that I did. And I did bring a caffeine gel, but I opted not to take it because I was just like, I train with them, but I feel like because they are still
It's
so new to me,
50-50. Yeah.
yeah, they can just be a little unpredictable, you
Yeah.
know. So, took that neuro gum. That
Mhm.
was great. I don't know if it's placebo. I don't know if it works. I
Dude,
don't.
I swear it works. Like every time I take it, I've taken on so many workouts and I'm like,
Yeah,
what are the odds of it always
yeah.
happening? Like always working.
Yeah, it is so crazy. I like, it's like instantaneous and that, like, it's almost like that instantaneous feeling. And I'm like, is that why? But it's because it's being absorbed through your gums. Like, it's like
Yes.
you put a medication under your tongue
Yeah.
that's swallowable. That's why it works. So either way, it's that boost of caffeine. I knew I was going to take the neuro gum versus the caffeine gel. So I wasn't sure I was going to stack them. So,
Yeah. That's a
you
little
know,
scary, a little risky.
yeah, so I took the first one at mile 9, and then I took and then I spit it out at like mile 15, I think, and then I took the second one at mile 16.
Smart.
And it started to dissolve in my pocket because I was sweaty.
Yes.
So it was only like half of a piece, but
Yeah.
whatever. And so, yeah, it was just I like picked it up and I was like, that looks gross, but
Yeah. You're like, whatever.
So
There's a lot worse going on around me.
honestly, it could have, yeah, there been so much worse. Like the things that people were taking on the course, or, like they were like people were handing out straight up just like little things of Fireball and stuff. And I was like, I can't imagine, like,
Wow.
even if you're having like a fun race, the idea of taking a shot of alcohol, ugh, just especially because it's like the morning. I don't know.
Just like I feel like the acidic, like I feel
Oh,
like I would just like have
yes.
stomach gurgling and I just be
Yeah.
like
Yes.
miserable.
I was gonna say, I like you train with all this stuff, and still on race day, hard to take down. Like
Yeah.
I remember training with like, oh, you know what? Today is the day I'm gonna take a shot of Fireball.
I
Of
know.
course. So but that's what makes it like so fun.
Yeah.
And I will say vibes at like when you're in those first few packs are so different than like when I had done it previously. So, just because like I think more people come out during that time
They're
because
like
more people are
fresher.
awake. Yeah,
Their
exactly.
energy is still high. They're still
Yeah,
drunk. Just kidding.
exactly.
They're not crashing off their alcohol.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I was, it was just like the experience was so different this time, equally still as fun. I will say, like, I feel like such a different runner now. Like it was never an idea of like if I'm going to bonk or what's going to happen at mile 20. It was like, will I pick it up at mile 20 or am I going to stay at this? But like to get to mile 20 wasn't like this crazy thing that I had achieved because like I said over training, like I wanted to make sure that I have hit 18 milers, 20 milers so many times or like had that time on my feet so many different times that my body wasn't going to be like absolutely shocked by it. Now, I will say for like anybody who's listening, like that doesn't mean every weekend you should do 20 milers. It
Yeah.
was just an efficient way for like if my coach gave me these heart rates and I have 2 hours and 20 minutes, like am I fitting in 18 miles for that? Because sometimes just the mental side of that can click. Now, I had a lot of days where I had 2 hours and 20 minutes and I never hit 18 miles, but it was still that time on feet. So my legs were just so used to it. Like there wasn't like this immense fatigue that happened because my legs felt great through the whole thing. It was kind of a lot of other things like so the humidity. I at one point I was like I had to ask Siri. I was like, "What is the
It was
humidity?"
like 90.
It was hot. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was
It
like
was like in the 90s. Yeah, it was pretty high
yeah.
that day.
It. I
Which I
noticed.
mean, I know for like most people that like grow up in Florida and Texas, things like that, that's normal. But like we're in southern Utah where it's dry heat. So our temperatures go really high, but our humidity for the most part, we've had a few that were like
Yeah.
80%, but it's more like in the like the 50s and below, like
Yes.
probably more 40s, 30s. So it's
Yeah.
a big difference in heat
It
wise.
was. I remember texting you on one run, and I was like, "This is like the fourth marathon pace workout I've had where it's 67% humidity."
True.
And I
Yeah.
was like, "There has to be a reason for this. Like, there's
Yeah.
no way that they're all falling like this, and that the universe is just like, oh well, it's humid." It was like you're going to be
Yeah.
running on a very humid day,
That's
so.
crazy.
Yeah, it made me feel better when I saw other people even just saying like the heat got them and like
Yeah.
not that, oh, I'm so glad you didn't have a great time out there, but like that it wasn't just me being like whiny about it,
Yeah.
but because I packed so terribly for this trip. Like I brought one sweatshirt. I was freezing from the second I got off that airplane. I was like, "Oh, I'm frozen. I'm just frozen." Like, and so my one sweatshirt, I tossed it in the morning, and I had texted Matt beforehand, and I was like, "If you see a sweatshirt, can you buy one? I know I'll be freezing at the finish line." And I was not. Like I finished the race, and I was just boiling. I grabbed like a bag of ice
Crazy.
and um Elizabeth, we've had her on the podcast, Mama Dio runs. She had explained to me that when you're on your period too, from the inside out, like your body temperature rises by a full degree and stuff. And I was like, that makes so much,
Yeah.
like all the stuff that is happening internally, it makes
Yes.
a lot more sense once I can break it down like that because there was just like a small level of frustration of like, it was so much, it was cooler than anything we trained in. So like why are we
Yeah.
not performing? But that so there was just like little, like if you can't tell, that there was a lot of mind things happening of like, you know, really proud of myself in so many ways. Like I felt like such a different runner out there, and then also like why am I not performing like I kind of expected to perform in a way. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I think it's good to hear that though on the podcast because I feel like there's like kind of some shame around like when you PR and if you're not like just ecstatic and just
Yeah.
only happy and only seeing like all the things that went right that day, then like you're not grateful or
Yeah.
whatever. And it's like, no, like it's okay to be upset. Like you went into this race with a larger goal than you obtained.
Mhm.
And it wasn't like, it wasn't like there was no logic behind that. Like there was a lot of your training runs that showed that you're capable of so much more. And I mean, over 17 to 20 milers. Like,
Mhm.
you have some averages in there that were like, no, you're in this shape. Like, if
Mhm.
you're 15 seconds off your goal pace, like, that's showing that you can do it. Right. And so I think like it's so good, like, when people talk about that, because I think like people don't realize like you could have both feelings at once. Like, you could be so proud of yourself that you PR, but also so dissatisfied. Like, and I
Yeah.
think that's the best part about the sport is that it is yours and it's
Mhm.
yours to like claim how you feel about it. And it's yours to claim like when you're satisfied enough and when you want more.
Mhm.
And like, it doesn't matter what anybody else wants or thinks. Like, at the end of the day, if you're dissatisfied, what's going to motivate you to get back out there? The dissatisfaction, like, right? It's like, the
Yeah.
lack of feeling like I'm not done yet. Like I want more. Even if you did hit your A goal, you
Hmm.
still would not be satisfied. You'd be like,
It's
okay, now
true.
what's next, right?
Yeah. Yep. You'd be hungry for more either way. Like I wasn't gonna go to bed and be like, well, that was my
Yeah.
marathon today.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was this course and this race on this particular day was a really interesting thing because so many people PR'd and had the
Yeah.
race of their life. And I mean, like in massive PRs. And then so many people didn't.
Yeah.
And the course is a fair course. And the weather overall, it was good weather. Like it wasn't raining, it wasn't snowing, it wasn't, 1 degree, it wasn't 80 degrees. Like
Yeah.
overall, the course is fair. But at the end of the day, that's the only thing that when it doesn't go your way or whatever is that the marathon that you're not always going to show up perfectly on it. You can train and have the most perfect training cycle and it could still just not be your day. Like your period could come that morning or the day before. Like you could just feel more nauseous. Like you could have eaten pizza that was made with a different oil than you've eaten at all the restaurants or all the homemade pizzas you've ever had and it just didn't sit well in your
Yeah.
stomach. Those are such unexpected things that you unfortunately like cannot control. And honestly, like the taper, it helps so much, but sometimes with the taper, it just gives you this feeling where like your legs just still don't feel fresh or something. Like there are
Yeah.
just so many bits and pieces of a marathon. And at the end of the day, I was talking to a mom yesterday and she said like wanted some just like mental advice for when you didn't PR at Chicago. And at the end of the day, it still builds fitness. It's
Yes.
just a race. It's just data at the end of the day. Like it didn't prove anything. It's just one more thing. And I think the thing that's really hard about days like that is that I felt like for me when I crossed the finish line, I was like, can't believe we flew all this way and I can't believe we spent so much money and that was what I put out. Like that was honestly my one
Yeah.
of my first thoughts and I was
Yes.
like I couldn't decide. I was like I'm so happy and I needed to like cry and so I was
Yes.
on the phone with my husband and I was like I really just need to like actually cry because I don't know what I'm feeling. And because at the end of the day you still finish a marathon, but people will try to make that seem like that's the biggest piece when you're also allowed to sit in your feeling of
Yeah.
of that you didn't produce what you wanted to produce. Like we spend so much time and so much of this, like this is a podcast for moms. So at the end of the day, we're taking so much time away from our children. But the one thing that I can say is if like if your child had a day that didn't go as planned, like what would be the advice that you would give them? You wouldn't
Yeah.
say like, maybe the sport's not for you. You
Yes.
would never say that. You would say,
Yes.
of course, it's okay though, because at the end of the day, this is just one more thing to add up to the next day, and you're gonna try again, right? Like, and like we need to speak to ourselves so much more kindly because like I would never tell my kid, nah, well, you still finished a marathon. Like if they're in their feelings, you'd be like, oh, that I know exactly how you feel, you know?
Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's process it. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be buried down and like yeah, I hate that like mindset where it's like if somebody talks negatively about a PR race that they're
Hmm.
not satisfied with,
Hmm.
it's like, "Oh no, they're too hyper fixated on the clock." Or and it's like, "Well, that's kind of the point why we train." Like
Yeah.
just see the production happen on the clock. And
Yeah.
it's like when it doesn't produce, it's not that we feel like it's the end of the world, but in that moment it feels like frustration. Like
Yeah.
you did spend from June to October showing up at ridiculous hours to get these runs
Yes.
in and like juggling school pickup and drop offs and figuring it out and your husband's schedule and on the treadmill, like
Mhm.
in the hot sun. Like there's so many things that you had to sacrifice, what you eat on Friday before a
Yes.
Saturday. Like there's so much sacrifice that goes into it. It's like, of course you're going to be upset. Like why would
Yes.
you not be upset, you know? And
Exactly.
But I love it because like I always like I had to because I had two of those races at CIM, and it's like I remember just people being like, when I ran CIM the second time, I remember people just being like, I'm just so glad that you're not as upset with yourself as you were the first time. And I was like, deep down, I was. But I think I was just trying to show other people that like I would be okay.
Yes.
But like I hated that I really truly couldn't like open up and be like, I'm very dissatisfied. Like I'm very and like to think now that that was my last marathon for the next
Hmm.
over a year and a half that I'll probably see another PR, like even more dissatisfied, right? And I just think like it's okay, like it's good for athletes to process this. Like it is good for athletes to sit in it. It's good for athletes to cry about it. It's good for athletes to show that side because I think it shows how much you care about like
Yes.
your like potential, you know?
Hmm.
Um but I do want to say, like, I think it's really cool because if you take it from a step back, right? You process it, you get to move forward. You're starting another bill, so you're like excited because you're like, okay, I get another opportunity. And I think that's part of it. As moms, we don't know when our next, and I'm gonna get emotional, but we don't know when our next opportunity is going to be to race again. Like,
Hmm.
it takes so much logistically, financially, like so much. Like, it takes so much planning to get out there as a mom athlete that it's like, when is my next shot? Like, I
Hmm.
can't just, I'm not a single person that can just go hop on the plane and go run a race in a month and a half or 2 months, right? Like, I have a whole life and a whole family that I'm juggling, and it's like, and so that opportunity feels so little.
Hmm.
And I think that's part of the frustration with mother athletes. Like when you don't PR, it is a rare moment when you get back out there again and when. But I do think about it like when you take the perspective out and you're in a new build, you look back and you're like, that race was literally just one training run out
Yeah.
of so many that you produce. Like I saw some of these workouts that you produced, and it was like literally no brainer for me. It was like she has her A goal in the bag. Like
Hmm.
anybody that were to have done those workouts that you did, if you're 15 seconds off your goal marathon pace, you're right in that ballpark. Like you're gonna see that on race day just from the adrenaline, right? And so it's like you take a step back and it's like, yeah, I didn't see it on the clock, but that was just another training run for the next go, right? And so I think that's like what we have to tell ourselves sometimes as athletes, right? Like, okay, it sucks and it stings because that was the race to show it, but
Hmm.
we're just going to take that. That was my 26.2 mile long run, and it's going to roll into this next training block, and I'm just going to be that much more fit because I've seen those paces on 26.2 miles, right?
Yes. That's so true. And that this is exactly kind of what I told this mom yesterday
Yeah.
was like write down how you feel right now because people are going to keep saying like but you finished a marathon. You
I know.
finished the Chicago
You're
marathon.
like, shut up.
And it's like that sentiment is going to be amazing in like 5 or 6 days.
Yes.
But like right in this minute you're like coming off of this high too. And the one thing that she did say was she felt amazing. And I was like, you know what? Maybe that was your PR though, like
Yeah.
your PB, your personal best of feeling the best during a race. Like, because that also is a very unique experience to just feel incredible during a race. Um, but at the same time, like you do want to see the PRs. Like you do put in so much time and you don't know logistically how are you going to get to that next race? Like because honestly, I think for me that's my biggest
Yeah.
anxiety is like these how am I going to get there? Also like if right now if I was like I have a race in mind. I ran it
Yeah.
past my coach, but I was like, how am I going to talk to my husband about this? Like he's going to be so annoyed. And so like yesterday I was like, "So when's your next pickleball tournament?" You know? I was like, "So what's this? We should get some more on the books for you." Or then when's your boys' trip? Is it at the end of April? And then, and he was like, "Why is there a race?" And I was like, "Actually, no, but I think I
But
could."
there can be.
Yeah, I was like, I feel like maybe I could plan a race like before that, like way before that, so you don't even have to worry about it, And I was like trying to
Yeah.
be all casual, and he was like, "We'll talk about it," but. So it's like, okay, and he's fully supportive. It's more about like
Yes.
that back to back and the logistics and like, okay, well, this time are we going to bring the kids? Because we spent all weekend being like, oh my gosh, Grayson would love this. Oh, Grayson would love
Yeah.
this, you know?
It's so hard.
And yeah, it's like, but for actual like race day, we were really glad that, um, I mean, actually, I will say at 3 and 5, they would have been pretty easy to bring along at this juncture. So that's just something like for future, like in the future to make note of that this is probably the ages where now we'll be able to start bringing them along. Just from like a mom standpoint too, because it was also the first time they understood what I was doing,
That's cool.
super special. And I will say it was funny. I was FaceTiming them on the street like after, and Charlotte volume was like all the way up, and Charlotte just kept being like, "You won, mom! You won!" And like all these
You're
people,
like, yep, I did.
I was like, "Yeah!" And these people behind me were like giggling, but they can hear her sweet little voice, and they were like, "Oh, that's just so sweet," because um, I was talking to so many people beforehand. I was like, "It's so weird being here and doing this, and then tomorrow we're gonna go back to just being moms,
I
and
know.
back to that grind." And yeah, so anyways, like this is my perfect segue of back to the grind. You are gonna be well continuing your grind
Nice
because
chance for conversation.
I know.
Surprise! Olivia's running another race in December.
I mean, honestly, if I get the go ahead, I'll do it.
Listen, I have Matt's number.
I know. He would be all about it.
Matt, I really need somebody to help push me.
Well, depending on what your pace is, I feel like we could go and tackle the goals together.
No, you will definitely be ahead of me on this one, that's for sure. But it's okay.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, so I signed up for Phoenix, Arizona. The Arizona race. I don't know why I said Phoenix, Arizona. Like people don't know where Phoenix is. Watch me say like Idaho, and they're like,
Arkansas.
"That's not it." I know.
Oh my gosh.
So it was actually kind of a funny story because I had a friend, she texted me and she's kind of in the same boat where she was dissatisfied with her last race in October. And she's like, man, I really just kind of want to go for like a bigger BQ or like a BQ. And she's like, would it be crazy if I did a marathon in December? And I was like, what marathon are you thinking? Because I like looked, I feel like I looked everywhere. I was like, there is no marathons in December, at least like to my, I don't know, liking.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, there's Phoenix. And I was like, what is that? And I looked it up and I was like, this is like a flat course. Like it's in December. And I was like, I might do this race. And so she put on my radar and I just kind of kept putting the fillers out with my husband. And he was just like, we'll see, we'll see, we'll see. And I was like, well, the price goes up today. Went up today.
Yeah,
And
it
I was
did.
like, so yesterday I was texting, I was like, well, we'll see. It needs to be figured out today because tomorrow the prices go up like probably another $20. And so, he starts punching them numbers and it makes sense because it's not going to be it's like a 5-hour drive from where we are. And yeah, he was like, all right. He was like, we'll do it. And I was like, oh my gosh,
Yay!
I'm so happy. I didn't just
Oh.
train marathon training since June for no reason.
Yeah. Yes, I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
Oh,
And
man.
I mean, I don't think anyone listening is new here, but Shanna has been in marathon training and she pivoted, is 7 weeks, almost 8 weeks pregnant. And so, how pregnant will you be at this race? How many weeks, you know?
Like 16?
Okay, that's
Is
awesome.
it
That's
what,
gonna
8
be,
weeks out, 15, 16, somewhere in there?
oh,
Yeah.
I'm so
I
excited.
know.
That's so neat.
It's like it's honestly like the perfect time frame. I feel like in pregnancy too, because you're like a little big, but you're not like big.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so I feel like I can still get away with like a lot of the workouts at a decent pace for me.
Mhm.
I mean, we'll see. Maybe in 2 weeks I'll be saying otherwise.
Oh my
But yeah, it just I feel like I mean at the end of the day, I have no idea. Like I have a goal in mind that I want to do that I think would
God.
be rad, and it's not anywhere near like PRing or anything like that. But I just keep telling myself, I'm like, you know what, whatever the race produces, and I may bonk for trying, but I think I'm actually honestly just more afraid of the bathroom stops.
Yeah.
I don't know, like when you're on your period, everything is just moving, right? Like
Yeah.
that's how I've been feeling in pregnancy. I'm like, I have to go to the bathroom like all the
Oh my
time.
gosh.
Like not
Really?
even just like urinate. Like I just have to go to the bathroom all the time and I'm
Thank
like
you for
afraid to put
clarifying.
I know, like I'm so scared. I'm like, I will never be the person that shits themselves during a race. I will not, you guys. Like I will stop. There's no
Yeah.
time worth it to me unless I'm running a world record pace.
Yeah.
I will
As
never.
your friend, I will never let you.
Yes.
I will never let you,
It's not
okay?
happening. Yeah.
Yeah. You will
So
clench until the end. That is our policy,
that
okay?
is our policy. Could you imagine? Oh, your friend, the one that shit herself during a race.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
You're
Pee
like, I do
yourself,
not
go for
associate with
it.
her.
Like, you can pee yourself all day. I don't care. Do
Yeah.
not.
Pee doesn't bother me as much.
Yeah. Oh my
I
God.
honestly, if I had to pee during a race, you guys, I would totally pee myself. Like before ever stopping,
Yeah.
like even pregnant.
Oh
Even
yeah.
on this race in December, if I have to pee myself, I will pee myself before stopping. Just because
Yeah.
literally stopping to have to go to the bathroom sounds so much more painful than
Yes.
like just letting it trickle.
100%. It's so true. The adrenaline dump that you're having, like,
Yes.
it would be awful. And then also your pockets are full of stuff. Like, I don't know. That
Oh
part is
yeah, pulling it
so,
down and
yeah.
up.
So during Chicago, I was on mile one. I was on mile one, and I was like, wow, your body is going. When I tell you, I felt like a helium balloon that was just gonna float away. That was part of it. And I was like, you can't pull your pants down because everything is perfectly situated in your pocket. So you're gonna have to make a choice. And I did,
Oh
you know,
man.
and I was also like, you have brand new shoes. You can't pee on your shoes.
Oh, it's so
But
true.
like I actually don't even know. I have no idea if I
Well,
like peed
that's
or
what
not.
was sticky.
Matt, I called
Yeah.
Matt and he was like, "Oh my gosh, I have never been more proud of you in my life." He was like, "That is elite status." And I was
That's
just like,
so funny.
I love that he just like supports how and he was like, it's fine. Urine is sterile. And he was like, you're gonna smell so bad. And so anyway, I walked up to him and I was like, do I stink? And he was like, no. He was like, I don't know if you even peed yourself or if you were like,
Yeah.
when you're just so nervous and you keep thinking you have to pee. I think
Yes.
that's what was happening, if I'm being very honest. But
Yeah.
mentally, I was like, I peed myself. And I was like,
Being
"No."
myself.
Anyway, but the shitting yourself on it would be. I mean, for
Oh.
it like for me biohazard standpoint,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
Just,
and
I mean, biohazard standard, but, and also like the integrity level. Like,
yeah,
I'm sure we'll have people that will bring in messages from this and be like, well, I shit myself,
and
but
go for it. Tell us
yeah.
about it. I will.
I mean, we are mother runners. I know we all birth children, and I'm sure we have our fair share of stories on. I mean, thankfully,
Yeah,
I don't. I've never pooped during labor. Have you pooped during labor?
no,
I've
I
never pooped.
I
That's like
said
my
whatever
biggest
you.
fear.
I know it was.
Yeah.
It's my biggest. Well, I just also I like. I'll be honest. I just don't need my husband to see me poop. Like
Yeah.
I'm good. Like everything else, sure, go for it.
Yeah.
But no, the butt, no.
I know. That's
Like
literally
no.
the first thing I ask every
Yeah,
time the baby's out of my vagina.
you
Like,
too.
I'm like,
Did
can
I
I poop? Is there poop down there? They're like,
Yeah.
no, your butt and your vagina is probably just on fire because you just pushed a baby out of there. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Well, for Grayson, I had a piece of tape put over it. So
oh
either
wait,
way.
no way.
Oh yeah, I
That's
was
a
like
thing?
that's yeah, I just like I don't want my birthing memory to be like, "Oh, I had poop and a baby at the same time." Like I don't want that. And then I was just like, "Do whatever you do for people." And then my second
That's
I
how we did
I had
that.
mirror. Yeah. Are you kidding me? Absolutely. I had somebody in the ambulance one time ask me if I could put a piece of tape and I was like, "You're
Did
having a
it hurt when they ripped it off?
I mean,
I have so
what
many
is that is
questions. This is the unhinged
oh my
stories
gosh. Yeah,
right
yeah.
here.
Not that I noticed. I mean, I had just had
I mean, I
like a
guess you just
baby.
had baby. Yeah. So you're
Yeah,
like
so like
anything feels like
can't say it.
mediocre to that.
I am. Yeah, and then I remember this girl in the ambulance, and I was like, "You're having a baby in an ambulance. Like, we don't take extra precautions for you." But I mean, nothing happened. But I did end up doing that, and that was when I learned about it. But I think I would say it's like I'm sure it's like a standard thing if someone asks for it. I don't know.
That's crazy.
But
Yeah,
I mean, she told me about it like it was a thing. So for me,
yeah.
I was like, "This is a thing."
Clearly, like you're not the only one that has had that.
No,
So
during races, I'm gonna be like, "Did you put tape over your?"
you should have put tape on your butt. I can't even say the whole word without laughing.
I know. This
Like I
just
had this, I say the word shit like 15 times on this episode, but I can't even say the word butt H because I just am like, oh, that's so vulgar.
it is so vulgar. Oh my gosh.
Now you just have how many people that listen to our episodes know
I
that
know.
you taped.
I know everybody's gonna be like, I heard on this podcast that this girl put tape over her bell. I'm gonna be like unhinged race things, superstitions that I do. I put tape over my bell. I'm just kidding. That would chafe. Can you imagine?
Oh, that would hurt so bad.
Oh my gosh, that would hurt so badly.
You're
Oh.
you're in your next video, totally sponsored by Scotch tape. This reel is brought to you by Scotch tape. My next sponsor. You didn't think that this was what Scotch tape was actually for.
You,
But it is.
I've got the real life mom hacks for you, okay?
Oh my gosh, this
This
is
is
not
such
where I expected this episode to
no,
go.
this is
If anybody wants insights into like what our conversations on our runs look like,
yeah,
it's this. Like
it's true.
it's from serious to like the most unhinged thought process that could go on in anybody's brain ever.
yeah. I cannot tell you how many times we have to pull over because we're just like silent laughing because we're like, what did we just talk about?
I know.
And so early. Oh my gosh, speaking of so early in the morning, Matt was like he was like, "Wow, I feel like I haven't like talked to you this early in the morning in a really long time." And he just was like, "Why are you so loud?" Listen, this is what you get. He was like, "You're at like an airport level right now. We need you to be at
Yeah.
like hotel level."
Hotel level. You're like, this is being normal. If you weren't loud, I'd be like, are you okay?
I
Do
know.
you have a fever? Are you,
Oh, are you okay? She's
are
not
you
feeling
nervous? Why are
yeah.
you so nervous?
That was kind of how I felt the couple days. I texted you and Kelly, and I was like, "Sorry if I was being weird." And I was like, "I
Yeah.
think I just wasn't talking as much as I usually do." I was like, I was just really nervous about like traveling. But anyway, okay, I want to talk more about your race because I'm super. Hold on, I'm gonna check the time. Okay,
I know what time
I'm
is
just
it.
so excited for you for being able to just actually have something on the calendar. Like
I
I think
know.
I thought about that so much. Just you've been in this like you've not stopped marathon training. I know you've like taken
Yeah.
some time of like, oh, I didn't feel great this day and you're really listening to your body, but I mean, to have something on the calendar sometimes is just everything for
Yeah.
motivation, right?
It totally is. I feel like I just got this like second wind. Like the moment I signed up, like even today, I'm like, oh, I feel so good. And then I looked down at my heart rate, you guys. It's like moderate effort today. It was like moderate. Like I didn't wear my strap today, so it could be that. But I was breathing hard today, talking in between sentences. So I knew like it wasn't like true easy for today. But I literally was just like, I could go run again. Like I want to go get a
Yeah.
double run in today. I feel so good. Like, and it's like I caught this second win, and I think it's just like I needed that like okay, like Kate, you can lean into this. Like you can still train. Like you
Yes.
can still marathon train, and the paces may start to look different as time. I don't know. Maybe they won't. Like I have no idea,
Yeah.
and I don't know when it's going to hit me. And I think I was just telling the girl I was running with this morning, I was like, what's so weird about this build is that like when people are in their marathon build and they're not pregnant, they're literally building up and they're like getting faster. They're getting fitter. I'm not going to see that. I'm going to see
Yeah.
quite opposite. Like I'm just only going to either stay at the same pace and then eventually plateau or eventually start slowing down, maybe
Mm.
end of second trimester, third trimester. but I'm not gonna get faster. And that's such a weird concept to tell myself. Like, I don't have a big belly. I just feel bloated. I feel like I'm like period bloated all the
Yeah,
time. And it's like not cute. It's like, I don't know. I'm
it
not gonna go into that because I don't need people worrying about body image. But
is.
it's just like, I don't have like a bump to tell me like you're pregnant.
Yes, yeah.
And so I just am like constantly like telling myself like, oh no, I like this is justified feelings, but like also I still feel good enough to push the same paces. Like
Mhm.
it's just weird. It's so
No,
weird. I don't
no.
know. And it's funny because I'm like, I've been pregnant 5 other times. Why am
I
I acting
know.
like it's my first time? Like,
It's true. I think because you're just such a different athlete than you were.
yes.
And I like, okay, so you had this post yesterday where you were pregnant with Madison
Yeah.
and, or like it's all your pregnancies, but it's so interesting picturing who you were then
I know.
because, like this would have been so new for you and like how running would have been up and down. And then also that, like, when like you were just off of like trying to do your collegiate career, a running career and
Yeah.
stuff. And so how running could have just been like, this positive and negative and positive and like not knowing fully and you're not having like one-to-one coaching at the time and things like that. And then,
Yeah.
it's like after probably your third, you're like, well, I'm not focused on running right now. And
Yeah.
then like when after like while you were pregnant with Hazel, you're like, who's going to be making a comeback? You're not even the marathon's not even
Yeah.
on your radar.
Not
And
even.
now you're
Yeah.
coming back. You have run 3 marathons. You have a one-to-one coach. It is different. That's why. Like it's so different. And that's why it's so exciting because I know that this has been on your mind to just like have a race on the books, but also that it's not when you're going to be 34 weeks pregnant. Like
Yeah.
you get to do it while you're still fit and like yeah, the times are not going to show it, but your fitness is still going to be there and
Yeah.
stacking and you'll be able to take that into postpartum. But
Yeah.
I'm just like really I'm excited for you to like be postpartum and look at what you did while you were pregnant because
I
that's
know.
so
I mean,
crazy.
even like yesterday doing the 6x2Ks, I just like I was running them and I don't know, like he gave me heart rate, which like again, it goes back to like I'm so grateful he gives heart rate because I literally was like, just go into this workout doing
Hmm.
this pace, like a lot slower than what I normally do. And my heart rate was like almost matching what I could do before pregnant, right? And I
Yes.
know I'm only 7 weeks in, but it's like there's still so much internal changes that goes on inside of you that I think like people don't realize, like, oh, she's only 7 weeks, but it's like 7 weeks, like there's a lot happening, you
Yeah.
know? And I saw the heart rates and I was just like, oh my gosh, like I'm still producing pretty decent times for this. And it was like almost giving myself the okay to like lean into that. Like,
Mhm.
because I don't know why I've been so nervous. Like every time he gives me these, and I'm so grateful for a one-to-one coach. You guys, like if you can afford a one-to-one coach while you're pregnant and you have goals to like not even PR, but like stay in shape or like continue to work out, it's been game changer for me because I feel like he gives me the okay to do it.
Mhm.
Like I literally go into it questioning, I'm like, I am pregnant. And then I look at the
Yeah.
workouts and I'm like, but I always tell myself, I've never not one time like entered one of his workouts telling myself, you gotta at least give yourself a shot.
Yeah.
And I do, and every time I'm always blown away that I can do it.
Mhm.
And so yeah, it's just crazy. Like I don't know. I like don't know what to expect and I had this number in my mind that I'm like it makes so much sense like why I saw this number like, a while ago and I'm like I think this is the race that this is going to happen at and it's like but I don't know. It's like not certain, so I don't want to say it out loud until it happens, you
I
know?
know. I know.
And I also don't want to put the pressure on myself either because I'm like, at the end of the day, like, I will be so freaking proud of myself that I did run that pregnant with a baby. Like, there's just something that's so satisfying with that. But
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I know, because I know you've wanted this so much and just to experience it, but also that it's like it really is like a lifetime memory for you, like where you
Yeah.
get to do this with your baby that you haven't done before. You have been pregnant 5 other times, but this marathon has not like you've never done this with a baby before.
No.
So to be able to speak on experience and everything will be so important. And I agree, like, and also our coach has coached other pregnant people.
Yes.
So it's not like he's doing things like trial by error or anything
No.
like that with you. So
And they're
like,
all heart rate. Like he knows, I
yes,
mean, I've worked with him for 3 years now. It's so
yeah,
crazy. Like he knows my zones. He knows where I'm at. Like he knows if he gives me a
yeah,
zone, like if I'm not pushing myself past that zone, then I'm doing the workout properly. And it was like that was how I felt last night. I was like 170, 175. There was like a split few seconds where I went into like 178 and that was like towards my last rep because I was like bump it up.
yeah.
Let's turn up on the last one. But for the most part, like if you don't have cramping and things like that, like that's one thing I am grateful for having past pregnancies is that I do know when my body is telling me enough is enough. Like I feel a lot of
Mhm.
heaviness in my pelvic floor during certain speed sessions, or if I have to urinate often during a speed workout, that's usually me my body telling myself that like you're pushing a little bit past your effort level of where you should be.
Mhm.
And then cramping is like a big one for me. But it's yeah, it's just crazy. Like I think looking back at this, it's going to be insane to see these workouts because I think I already used to look at these paces like these look very like intimidating to me. And
Mhm.
to know that I did it pregnant, I think going into postpartum, it's gonna bring me into like a totally different mindset where I'm like, you could do that fucking pregnant. You could do that not pregnant. Like, and I think like that's where my mental like I needed this pregnancy to teach me that it's okay to lean
Yeah.
into the hurt. Like there's workouts that I've done so far even in this pregnancy that have felt so uncomfortable, but I'm like you're okay. Like your body's saying you're okay to lean into this. And I don't know why with this pregnancy I've leaned into it more than I ever had before, but I think it's like, yeah, I don't know. I think it's gonna teach me a lot, like coming out of it, like mentally, like if you can do that pregnant, you can do more not pregnant, you know?
Oh, I couldn't agree more. And also, I think just to top off of what you were saying of like all the stuff that's happening within you right now, like yes, you are getting from that first trimester into the second trimester. You've got a few more weeks to go. But I think the reason that it's downplayed, the first trimester is downplayed so much is because people aren't talking about it. A lot of people don't announce their pregnancies
Yeah.
during that time. And it's written off as, on like in a caption, it would be like, I've been feeling a lot of tiredness, fatigue, I don't want to get injured, things like that. And so, and that's personal choice, but to take people along the journey of like, this is what first trimester running looks like.
Yeah.
And week by week, from the second you find out until we hit that second trimester and everything, that's why. And we had that episode with Dr. Brienne, and she was amazing. But the thing that she talked about with like C-sections was that just because something is common doesn't make it, not as big of a deal, right? And so that's the same thing. It's like just because you're in the early weeks of pregnancy doesn't make it like less of a big deal. Like just because there isn't a bump doesn't mean like yes, in those later parts you're building, you're fulfilling their lungs and like all their organs and all of that stuff. But right now you're getting baby from a poppy seed
Yeah.
into like an avocado basically.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah, so there's still so much happening, and just taking people along that journey, and the importance of like listening to your body right now is more important than ever. And that pregnancy isn't an illness, and like just I mean, it's very much treated as like this disability. I remember it's being so frustrated having to take short-term disability for work.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's how it's your short-term disability leave. It's the same thing. If I was to break my leg or have a baby, it's the same leave. I couldn't believe there wasn't maternity leave.
That
It's
is crazy.
it is crazy. I was like, I never understood what people were talking about with maternity leave, and I got it. It clicked. I was like, oh, they're treating it as it's the same thing as getting injured essentially. And it's like,
Wow.
and it's so I think that's why they want the idea is that when you're pregnant, but if somebody was to just lay down and be like, I'm pregnant, I'm growing this baby, I'd say the same thing. I'd be like, you can go for it, lay
I
down,
would
you're
too.
a baby,
Yeah.
So
And I think that's like that's like the careful line, right? And that
mhm.
was like something I was explaining to this girl this morning because I was like, I feel like I'm so much further ahead than I should be,
Yeah,
but I'm not because I
yeah,
announced it like the moment I found out. And I think there's like a lot of pros and cons to that because there's like a part of me that's like, man, I wish they would have been able to be taken along on my journey all my last pregnancies, but then I wouldn't have a running account because I didn't run enough. But I just wish that they could have seen that side of me too, because there it was so not this. I was not like I don't
Yes.
think I've ever ran 60 plus mile. Like I've never ran 70 miles ever in my
Yeah.
running career until I was in marathon training.
Yeah.
And so it's just like a totally different level of training, but it's yeah, it's just crazy. Like I don't know. It's something that I never want a female to feel like a mom to feel like if she's not doing what I'm doing, or she's not pushing through the fatigue, or she's not pushing through the nausea, she's not tough enough or whatever,
Exactly.
because
Yeah.
you, if anybody is listening and if you've had a pregnancy where you literally were bedbound, which there are people that have to have IVs, right, to get the fluids and stuff that they need during their first trimester, sometimes throughout their whole pregnancy, there is nothing wrong with you. Like you are building a human. Like
It's
I'm
true.
sorry, like that is insanely impressive. That is more than impressive than any marathon you could ever run. You built a human from scratch. Like I just like I don't think I think it's because we do it so often. Like we see it so
Mhm.
often that it's like almost like, oh, it's everybody does it, and like I
Yeah.
should feel like it's a piece of cake. Like I'm not kidding, I've had so many women reach out to me and told me that they have ran marathons 30 weeks pregnant.
That's
30 weeks pregnant.
that is incredible.
And I sit there and I'm like, oh my gosh. And here I am like asking myself, can I do this at 16 weeks pregnant?
Mhm.
And it's just like there's like this bittersweet moment where you're like, I'm so happy somebody shared that with me because it gave me permission to dream. But then
Mhm.
there's also the other side that it's like, am I weak because I'm questioning myself with 16
Yeah.
weeks of being pregnant and running a marathon? And so it's like you can't compare. Like you just what's hard for you and what's hard for somebody else, or like whatever your goals are, like it's just always going to be different. I don't know.
Yeah. No, it's so true. And I mean, of course, like there's nothing weak about questioning that. I think it's just more like also that you are still going for like a goal. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You're not going out there and trying to run like run and walk and all of that. But maybe, maybe you will at that point, but I don't think you're not like that, but I think it's just that's the difference is like you've never this is new territory for you.
Yeah.
And I think that's the part like you've done these pregnancies before, but this part is new territory for
So
you
new.
versus like
Yeah.
only having done one or two pregnancies and then giving it a shot. And I think that's it's all unknown, I think, for you because it's like there is no perfect blueprint of what a pregnancy is going to look like. And like even week by day by day, like you're going to feel different. So I think it's just really exciting that you're also taking everybody on the journey with you. It's just so fun. But I have to go because I have to
I
pick up
know.
Charlotte
Yeah.
right now. And I'm so sorry because I want to keep talking about this
No.
forever. But that's good because we can roll this into another episode then. And
Yes.
but yeah, if you have run pregnant and you want to share your story, we do want to hear all of it. So because we love sharing everybody's stories on here. So. Yeah, and if you are a listener and you came to the shakeout, we so appreciate it. That was so fun. FaceTiming you was like a huge highlight. It was so
It's
fun.
so
I was
fun.
like, "You're just gonna call her?" I was like, "Yeah, she's out running right now." And she
I
was.
know.
She was on the trail. It was so fun.
I know. You were missed too. I was like 15 miles by myself.
I know.
So
I
sad.
know. I know. But you guys, please share, rate, follow. If you have the new link or you're following it already, just send it on over to someone else. Because we are still getting questions about that, and yeah, this is the new one. So,
Yep.
yep.
All
But
right.
well, thanks for listening, you guys, and I will chat with you later.
Bye.
Bye.